to the NHL, where we are also in the semifinals. As we just talked about, the Lightning just wrapped up an absolute beating of the New York Islanders 8-0. Beat them 8-0 to take a 3-2 lead in that series. The defending champions just one win away now from heading back to the Stanley Cup Finals, where they are awaiting the winner of the other side, with the series currently tied 2-2. Vegas with a very dramatic win last night, taking it to tie the series up at 2 apiece. Had Montreal won that game, Monte would be off somewhere. We have to watch him very closely. He'd be in depression mode, because I still believe deep down that the Knights are gonna win this series, and Montreal's letting it slip with losing that game in overtime. But definitely exciting. It's been fun. I've caught some games when I could, but definitely been keeping up. If I'm not watching it live, keeping up with the scores. And Montreal, it's been so up and down. We've back-to-back games have gone into overtime in that series, so that seems to be like that's going to go the distance. Probably a game 7 there, which is exactly what we want. We'll have to see how the Islanders respond on the other side of the bracket after getting absolutely torched 8-0. So they do get to go back home. So they'll go home, maybe think about their lives for a minute, try to knock up the series. But yeah, pure excitement. What more can you ask for?
Right. Two tied series, making it a best of 3. Yeah. Sensational action. This is how the NHL playoffs go down. Very rare that we get the sweeps. In fact, it's over in Canada that they're getting all the sweeps. Us American teams, we're holding it down. But yes, tonight was an example of talent winning out. When talent shows up and plays harder than the gritty team, these are the results that happen. Is 8-0. Maybe not to that extent. But the Lightning, they are the most talented team left. I keep saying it every podcast, and I'm going to continue. They're my pick to win it all. And
no, the Knights.
Tonight, great example. So, yes. My mistake. I'll backtrack on that, Lightning fans. The Vegas Golden Knights, of course, will win the Stanley Cup. And yes, but one of the things that's kind of become a storyline a little bit, you don't see it very much in hockey. It's usually one of the better officiated sports, but there's a lot of fans who aren't too happy with what's going on with the stripes in these series. It was earlier on in the Lightning and Islanders series that their coach, he got fined for lashing out at the refs as they allowed a goal for Tampa Bay to stand after Tampa Bay had 6 or 7 guys on the ice, more than you should have. Of course, the goal should have been disallowed. They allowed it. Lightning win the game. Anyway, he gets fined. Vegas and Montreal, it was all the rage on Twitter last night about how poor they've been. And there's the reason it was trending on Twitter, because it was all the Canadians chiming in about how they're ruining their team's chances and this, that, or the other. It's usually never really a topic in the NHL. There's a few isolated incidents, I think. The Sharks have been a part of a couple, ironically. But for the most part, pretty clean stuff. So very interesting. I thought I read a report that the referees who did Game 4 of Vegas and Montreal, which was heavily scrutinized, are also going to be the referees for Game 5 between Vegas and Montreal. So,
wow.
Of all the things to watch in hockey, I don't usually say watch for how teams respond to officiating, but it could decide some things. It really could decide some things. And Vegas, they're very good on the power play. Vegas, in fact, the games they lost to Colorado were very bad when allowing power plays. So that's a huge storyline for them. So as much as we don't want to address it, maybe some iffy officiating could go a little bit of ways in determining who wins this Vegas-Montreal series.
Oh. And if Monte gets screwed over by some refs, oh boy.
Yeah.
I'm all here.
I assume he said some very, we'll call them less than reputable things about Connor today.
Yeah.
As Connor in the text group chat made up a story about Marc-Andre Fleury, the Knights goalie, being out for the rest of the series.
Bro, I'm telling you, our group chat is out of pocket, man.
He said
making up stories. Like, I'm at work. What happened? Kind of have a whole story that one of their players got injured. And this dude,
by the way, nothing is happening with him. And for Monte's sake, they've been playing 2 goalies in the series. That's always a point of discussion, is who's going to start for them in goal. Is it going to be Marc-Andre, or is it going to be Robin, who starts for the Knights? So he does have a good second goalie option to go to. Played extremely well in Game 4, did Robin Leonard. Yeah. But, yeah, Crean made up the story. It's not true. Marc-Andre, he's fine. He can play if needed. But this man, yeah, unholy words.
Unholy
from the gentleman who's a Knights fan. So he's getting very into it. He's getting very into it. I'm trying not to. So whoever I get into it for suffers a predictable fate. So I'm trying to stay out of it. Let the hockey gods do their work. I do not want to intervene negatively anymore. I'll just let it play out how it does.
Yep, just let it go.
A true neutral.
Absolutely.